Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to have you aboard on an Edmonton Oilers news day. Feels like we've had a long time since that last happened. The Oilers don't seem to be practicing near as much as one might remember. Well, at least years past, but hey, that's fine. We're only a few games into the season, plenty of time to get going here over the next little bit. The main news today, Sam O'Reilly has been signed. We'll get to that in a moment. The new lines from practice today, Draisaitl McDavid broken up. And oh, by the way, hey, there's an important right-hand shot centerman prospect on the Bakersfield Condors that everybody, including myself, I got called out for today, conveniently forgets about, who had a good past week with the AHL club. Before we get too much further though, if you're new to the channel, I encourage you to consider hitting that subscribe button here on Dolynny TV, simply because I want you to stick around. I want you to be part of this whole thing. Obviously, it's been a rocky start to the season, as it usually is in Edmonton. This is no surprise. Just the only thing that's upsetting about it is the Oilers did promise us better. Enough of the subscribe graphic. Let's get to the news today, friends. What do you want to start with? I think the number one thing everybody's come to hear about is what Sam O'Reilly's news is of the day. Let's go there. The photo of Sam O'Reilly signing his official entry-level contract after a stellar, and I mean stellar, rookie camp preseason with the Edmonton Oilers. Sam O'Reilly, well, as the hockey guys would say, all around it in the preseason for the Oilers. Extended his life in camp a lot longer than I think most 32nd overall picks with nowhere to gain on the roster at the NHL level usually do. There was chatter for a brief few hours that he might actually make his NHL debut this year. Instead, he's back down with the London Knights and rolling and rocking down there with an organization the Oilers have had some good luck drafting Sams that shoot right from, and also perhaps play center. Let's just go there. All right, what else do we know about the Oilers today? Well, the lineup retool, and again, hats off and congratulations to Sam O'Reilly, a guy the Oilers felt wanted to be here, a guy who the Oilers felt should develop well under the new system, and they have got him in the pipeline now on contract. So Ryan Rishaug tweeting out the lineups from practice. I call it a lineup retool. It's a lineup reset, more or less, because what I'm going to tell you is Ryan Rishaug did follow up this lineup combo with the bottom six seems maybe a little in flux. Maybe Podkolzin by game time tomorrow bumps up with Henrique and Brown. We'll see. We'll stay tuned, see what happens. But like I mentioned off the top, McDavid and Draisaitl now split up once again. RNH, Hyman, McDavid reunited as the top line. Ultimately, I think you'll see throughout the season Jeff Skinner becomes that left side option with McDavid and Hyman. RNH, who seems like he's regressing a little bit. Maybe once he figures out the power play time again, he'll probably be back up there on the top line for quite a bit of the season. But he'll spend some time as well with Draisaitl and Arvidsson. One might figure, as long as a coach named Chris Knobloch that's coaching the Oilers right now can figure out, don't do the same old stupid thing that every other Oilers coach has done, put Draisaitl and McDavid together and expect wins, because the NHL long ago figured that out. That was the death of Dave Tippett as Oilers head coach. So let's just be honest with ourselves here, okay? Yeah, Mark, Henrique, Brown, Podkolzin, Ryan Perry. We'll talk about things in a matter of moments when it gets to that Bakersfield player who had a really good week, but of course, nothing's really going to change when you only have 12 guys to interchange with each other, not a 13th forward sitting up in the press box. You could have kept Rafa Lavoie and used him in a time like this, but maybe that's just me. Matthias Ekholm, Evan Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emberson. What I will tell you is game by game, I'm not saying Emberson's taking leaps and bounds, but he's looking more and more comfortable in that bottom pair. Obviously, the results need to start being there for the Oilers defense, and so far they haven't been. Obviously, as well, if you could get a block shot and one extra stop from your goaltender, maybe the Oilers start winning a couple more games as well. So there's multiple areas you can blame, right? The Oilers forward group is stagnant and stale because you just don't have anyone to inject any energy or speed into the lineup when you're looking for a different component. Obviously, as well, the defense is just yet to figure it out. The team took the entire training camp off. They showed up and had a good scrimmage and saluted the fans and said that's good enough from here on out. And then as well, straight up, they just haven't seemed to care unless somebody's fighting to win a hockey game yet. So my gripes aside, let's get to Jaden Grou, shall we? Jaden Grou, well, what do we know about that, eh? What? Most Oilers fans don't know this name? Well, what you would forget is a long while ago, we traded for this guy, a draft pick to the New York Rangers. He wasn't going to sign there. He signed with us instead. And you know what? He has been percolating in the system here a little bit, and he's a very important player for the Edmonton Oilers. Simply whether he holds down in the future the #1 spot on the top line at center for the Oilers in Bakersfield longer term, or if he indeed does push up and become a right shot option, similar to what Noah Philp's going to do. And if you're thinking about the succession plan, Philp's here to take Ryan's job. I hope Grube's here to take Philp's job after Philp then graduates and takes Henrique's job down the line here in a few years. So the Oilers do have a prospect pipeline. Again, it's not flashy top 10 picks. We only have one of those as far as I last counted. But yeah, the Oilers obviously do have some guys in the system. And at some point, you're going to have to see a guy like Noah Philp come up here, because the Oilers' 12 forwards, let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't think they're not going to get the job done. I know they're not going to get the job done all season. And I know that is what every Edmonton Oilers insider has said as well this year, is that yes, the biggest upgrade will be on the blue line, but you will see a new player come in, Noah Philp, 99% sure on that, come in from the farm, and then as well you'll probably have another addition up front, just a smaller cap player to either replace Perry, replace somebody in that bottom six that just maybe isn't getting the job done, or just adds a completely different element come playoff time. So that is where we sit. My goodness, friends. Yes, I'm still griping about the Oilers a little bit here, but does it ever feel good to have some Edmonton Oilers news on a Monday? I have been waiting a long time for this in what has seemed to be a very dark past few weeks, just from a standpoint of, like I said, we were promised better, and the Oilers have delivered the same. So we'll see what they have in store. Obviously, the week kicks off tomorrow night, and it's nice to be back home, and hopefully we start turning around that home record, because that road record at 500's looking stellar at this point. So we'll see what happens here over the next little bit. But of course, if you have any questions, concerns about the Oilers, always free to throw them down in the comments section below the video. Thank you again for tuning in here this evening. Appreciate you being aboard. Appreciate you sticking with me through what has been a stressful start to the year. Again, we always think the Oilers are going to do so good out of the gate, and here they are, 2-4 to start, and the Calgary Flames lead the Pacific Division. This is Dolynny TV. Thanks for tuning in. I'm up on out of here.